Hello and welcome to this session on Introduction to Time Value of Money. This time value of money is a very important concept in finance, and the significance of this concept is that this is the most basic concept in finance, and this is a fundamental concept on which most of the advanced theories and concepts in finance are developed. We always say that if somebody has understood the concept of time value of money very well, 50% of finance is understood. This concept of time value is not important only for finance professionals, it is also important for common man because in our day to day life, we come across a lot of such situations where we invest our surplus funds or we borrow money from banks or financial institutions. And in all these such transactions, the concept of time value of money is very important, and understanding this basic concept is crucial not only for finance professionals but also for a common man. So let us try to understand the basic concepts of time value of money today. We shall try to understand this with a small example. Let us assume that someone owes you rupees 1000. That means somebody has to pay you rupees 1000, and that person gives you two alternatives. Option A is you can receive 1000 today, or option B is you can receive rupees 1000 1 year from now. So these are the two alternatives available to you, or these are the two options available to you. Which option will you choose? The answer is obvious. Option A. Without doubt, people would always choose option A. But my question is, why is it that a person who thinks rationally always goes with option A and not with B? There are many reasons for it. Let us look at one or two more important reasons. One reason is that if you receive rupees 1000 today, you can invest it for a year and earn some returns on it, which is not possible if option B is chosen. Therefore, you would like to get rupees 1000 today, which you can invest and get some interest, thus making your money little more than 1000 at the end of 1 year. This concept is very popularly known as opportunity cost in economics and finance. Another reason why you would like to receive this money today is the uncertainty related to option B. If somebody is paying you today, it is more certain. But if somebody says, I will pay you after 1 year, there is an uncertainty related to that, which is popularly known as risk. So these are two major reasons why, given a choice between receiving an amount today and receiving the same amount on a future day, an individual always opts for or chooses to receive 1000 on the money today. Let us now bring some value perspectives to this. From the above story, it is very clear that value of option A is more than value of option B. I want you to understand the amount of payment is same whether you receive it today or you receive after 1 year. The amount of money, the absolute amount of money that you are going to receive is same, but since you are choosing option A against option B, you are valuing option A greater than option B. For you, option A looks more valuable than option B. Assume your investment earns 10% interest per annum, which means having exercised option A, you're going to take this 1000 rupees, invest in a bank or a deposit scheme, which is going to give you 10% interest per annum. Now, if the options are revised as follows, it says option A is receive rupees 1000 today, or option B is receive rupees 1100 1 year from now. What will be your choice now? I am keeping the uncertainty associated with B away. That means I am assuming there is no risk. That is, a person who has to pay you would either pay you 1000 rupees today, or he would pay you rupees 1100 1 year from now. Now, which option will be chosen? You will now find that you don't mind choosing either of the options, because if you choose option A, you will receive 1000 rupees, invest it in a bank, which will grow to rupees 1100 because 10% interest is there. Or if you decide not to choose option A, you will receive 1100 from the person who has to pay you after 1 year from now. Therefore, when the offer is revised like this, the value of option A has now become equal to the value of option B. Therefore, you are now not very particular. You can either choose option A or you can choose option B. Let us extend the story a little bit. The same story I am going to extend slightly. If the options are further revised as option A is receive rupees 1000 today, and option B is receive rupees 1100 not 1 year from now but 2 years from now. So the person is giving you an offer. Either you can get 1000 today, or you can get rupees 1100 2 years from now. Again, if the risk associated is ignored, which option will be attractive for you? Obviously, A. Because if you choose B, you are getting interest for the first year, which is 100 rupees, but you are losing interest for the second year. In order to make both the options equally attractive, how much should be offered in option B now? If option B is going to pay you after 2 years, what should be the money that the person should offer you so that option A and B now become again same in its value? If option A is exercised, you receive rupees 1000 today, which is invested at the rate of 10% per annum for 2 years now, because you're comparing A and B, and in B the payment comes after 2 years. At the end of first year, your 1000 rupees will grow to 1100, and since you are not withdrawing and you are allowing that money to be reinvested, at the end of second year, it would become rupees 1210, which is 1100 plus 10% interest on that, which is 110. So 1100 plus 110, it becomes rupees 1210. So if the options are receive 1000 today or receive rupees 1210 2 years from now, now again both A and B become equally attractive. In other words, value of option A becomes equal to value of option B. Can we push the story a bit more? I'm going to extend the story a little more so that we try to understand the concept a little more deep in nature. If option B offers to pay you after 5 years, not after 2 years, now it says either you receive 1000 today or you receive an amount after 5 years. How much would you expect now? What would be your expectation? You would expect 1000 rupees into 1.10 that is 10% interest, to the power of 5. In other words, 1000 into 1.1 for first year, again into 1.1 for second year. Like that, we are going to multiply 1000 with 1.5 times. That brings us to rupees 1610.51. So, if the offer is to get 1000 today or rupees 1610.51 after 5 years, you will be indifferent to both the options. Now let us introduce some conceptual terms here. Rupees 1000 in the above example is called present value or PV. This is a very important thing in finance. We always talk about present value means value in today's terms. Anything, whatever is its value in today's term, we call it we call it present value. And in our example, it is rupees 1000. And in the above example, 1610.51 or something which is value in future is called as future value. So these two terms are very important in terms of time value of money. Present value means the value of something in today's terms. Future value means value of something as on a future date. Now, let us get into some little bit of equations of how to calculate this. If you remember, what we did in the previous slide is we multiplied 1000 with 1.1 to the power of 5. I am going to generalize it now, where future value is equal to present value into 1 plus r to the power of n. Here, R is your required rate of return or your expected rate of return, which will be your opportunity cost. N is number of periods. So in the previous example, it was 5 years. Therefore, we had multiplied 1000 with 1.10 to the power of 5. One thing that you need to remember here is R is R is inserted into this formula in decimal terms. We are having 10% rate of return. We will not put R as 10 here. We will insert it as 0.10 or 10 divided by 100. So here R is in decimals, not in percentage. From this formula, it is obvious that if I know the future value of something, I can convert it into my present value by just rearranging the formula where present value is equal to future value divided by 1 plus r to the power of n. This is what we did. Just the same example I have shown here again. 1000 into 1 plus 0.10 to the power of 5. We got the future value as 1610.51. Same thing if I rearrange and calculate the present value, I will come back to 1000 rupees. Let us now relook at the options. Option A was receive 1000 today. What is its present value? 1000 itself, because you are receiving it today. Option B was receive rupees 1610.51 5 years from now, and if you convert it into today's value, again the present value is 1000, which means in today's terms, both option A and B have the same value of rupees 1000. That means value or present value of option A is now equal to the present value of option B, which is equal to rupees 1000. In other words, present value of option A minus present value of option B is equal to 0. This may look very elementary, but in finance, this difference being 0 between two alternatives is a very important concept, because a lot of finance theories are developed based on this concept of choosing between two alternatives, and when two alternatives have same value, the difference between them becomes 0 and one becomes indifferent to both the alternatives. Since the difference between the values of both the options is 0, one would be indifferent to them, and wouldn't mind choosing any one option over the other. Let us consider two more examples for us to understand this concept better. There are two cases. In first case, option A is rupees 1000 today, and option B is to receive rupees 2250 after 8 years. In the second case, option A is same rupees 1000 today, and in the second case, option B is to receive rupees 2450 after 10 years. If your required rate is 10%, that means you still require your investment would fetch you 10% interest per annum. Which options will you choose in case 1 and case 2? In case 1, will you choose option A or B? And in case 2, will you choose option A or B? How do we take this decision? Let us see. Let us look at case 1 first. In case 1, PV of option A is 1000 because it is receiving today itself, whereas PV of option B is future value divided by 1 plus R to the power of n, which is 2250 divided by 1.10 to the power of 8, it is 1049.64. That means under case 1, the present value of option A is 1000, whereas the present value of option B is 1049.64. So what will you do? Your choice will be option B, because option B gives you more value than option A in today's terms. Let us look at case 2 now. PV of option A is 1000 here also, but PV of option B is now, it is 10 years. Therefore, 2450 divided by 1.10 to the power of 10, we find the answer is 944.58. Now what will happen? You will choose option A, because in today's terms, A has a value of 1000, B has a value of 9444.58. Therefore, it is better to choose option A. What is it that we have learned from all this exercise? One of the major fallacies or one of the mistakes that common people normally make is they tend to compare cash flows or incomes occurring at different points in time, which is a mistake. Therefore, one should never compare absolute values of cash flows occurring at different points in time. If you want to compare, first thing that has to be done is before comparing, cash flows should be converted to their present value. And that's what we have done in case 1 and case 2. In case 1, option B, we converted to its present value and then compared it with option A, and we found B to be better. In case 2, we found that the present value of B was less than the present value of A. Therefore, we said it is better to choose option A. So the most important lesson from this is it is wrong to compare, add or deduct cash flows or incomes happening at various points in time. Therefore, if one wants to compare them, one has to convert all of them into one particular period of time, and the best is to convert all of them into present value. And once you have a group of cash flows which are all in today's terms, it becomes very easy for you to compare them. And this is the most scientific way of understanding the time value concept. There are many more concepts in time value. We will take up one by one in the following sessions. Thank you.